So in this video, we'll see about the ossification present in the upper lip related questions. This is anatomical snuff box. So anatomical snuff box has a only bone, which is a scaphoid bone. So you have to relate this to a scaphoid bone, which is present in the anatomical snuff box. Next, we have clavicle. So let us learn some features about clavicle. The clavicle is the first bone to ossify in the body. It's only long bone which is having two primary and one secondary center. It's the first bone to ossify the body. Okay, and it is the only long bone which is going to have two primary and one secondary center, which is important. And it's only long bone which is horizontally placed. That is also very important. And only long bone that is having the membranous ossification. Okay, not chondral ossification. Only link between the appendicular and the axial skeleton. The most common bone to be fractured in children during the birth. Only long bone which is subcutaneous throughout. It's under the skin. And very important is the no medullary cavity. The most common site for fracture of the clavicle is junction of middle third and outer third. That is junction of medial two third and lateral one third. So except all these points, the importance are the first bone to ossify from the intermembranous ossification, two primary and one secondary, and horizontally placed, link between the appendicular and axial skeleton, and no medullary cavity. These are the important points you should know about clavicle. So next is a kind of what kind of joint is first carpometacarpal joint. It is a kind of saddle variety. So even after remembering that, we should have to remember all these things to answer the other MCQs of coming from the joint. So let us see this and I'll relate it how. Sternoclavicular joint between the sternum and the clavicle, it's a kind of saddle. So you can remember by yes, yes. So both start with yes. Okay, acromioclavicular. Acromion process of the scapula and the clavicle get joined together. It's a plain kind of novel joint. So AP. Okay, like Andhra Pradesh, you can remember. Shoulder joint, everyone knows is kind of ball and socket joint. Elbow joint is a hinge variety of joint. Okay, this is easier one. Superior and inferior radioulnar or both are pivot variety, whereas the middle part is syndesmosis. Syndesmosis is what? We will be seeing the syndesmosis in the kind of primary and secondary cartilages. Cartilaginous joint. It is syndesmosis is the middle radial joint. Okay. So wrist joint is an ellipsoid joint. So wrist is like a ellipsoid. Okay. Like both concave convex we call. So wrist is an ellipsoid joint, whereas elbow is a hinge joint. First carpometacarpal is the same as saddle joint, which we saw in the sternoclavicular. Metacarpophalangeal joint is an ellipsoid. Okay, in the wrist region, you had the ellipsoid. Metacarpophalangeal is also an ellipsoid. Interphalangeal, between the phalanges, you have condylar joints. Okay, structurally. Whereas it is a kind of hinge joint only, functionally. And a mid-carpal joint. Okay, it's a plain synonym. This you don't require. But interphalangeal joint is both a condylar, which is structurally, and hinge variety in the functionally. So I will try to just give you once revision of this because this topic is very important. So sternoclavicular is a kind of saddle joint and acromioclavicular is a kind of plain joint. Shoulder is a ball and socket joint. Elbow is a hinge joint. Superior and inferior radial is a pivot joint. Middle radial is syndesmosis. Wrist is a kind of wrist is a kind of what joint you can say. It is a kind of ellipsoid joint. First carp metacarpal saddle joint. Metacarpophalangeal is a condylar joint. Interphalangeal is a metacarpophalangeal is not a condylar. It is an ellipsoid. So metacarpophalangeal, also wrist joint, is an ellipsoid joint. Ellipsoid variety you should remember. Interphalangeal joint is a condylar as well as it is a kind of hinge variety. Okay, that's it. So next is about the next question which we see is a radial styloid process. So you have to remember this is an extensor compartment bones. Sorry, these are the muscles actually. Their origin insertion has been given. So anconius will get origin in the No, you don't require the origin because it's like a later epicondyle of the humerus only. But uncondyles get inserted at the olecranon process of ulna. Okay, whereas brachioradialis is only the styloid process of radius. The rest will be in the extensor carpi radialis longus and brevis will get it at the second and the third metacarpal. Digitorum will take place in the second, fifth digits. Minima will be in the little finger, expansion of the little finger. Carpi ulna is in the base of fifth metacarpal. But anconase is the olecranon process of the ulna, whereas brachioradial is only the styloid process of the radius. So styloid process of radius will give insertion to the brachioradialis. This tabular column insertion you should remember. Middle and larger carpal bone. So larger carpal bones have capitate only. It's a kind of middle one. So you can see proximal and distal row. I'll give you a clue word. She looks too pretty. So scaphoid, lunate, tricotal and pisiform is a proximal row from lateral to medial. Try to catch her. Trapezium, trapezoid, capitate and hamate. Okay, it's the distal row. Okay, and only capitate lies in the middle, not lateral to medial side. The largest carpal bone. Scaphoid is very lateral and it's a proximal row. Pisiform bone is a very medial. It's also in a proximal bone. Hamate is medial most bone and still row. Capitate is the largest carpal bone. The first carpal bone to ossify also and articulate is maximum number of bones. So it's the largest bone, it is the middle bone, and the first carpal bone to get ossified also. Distal end of humerus develop from how many centers? From 4 centers. It's a kind of hard question. Lower end ossifies from 4 centers, which form the 2 epiphyses. So 4 centers only give rise to 2 epiphyses. The centers include one for capitulum and the lateral. We have capitulum, right? Yes. And lateral phalange of trochlea, one for medial phalange of trochlea, one for lateral epicondyle. All three fuses during the 14th year to form one epiphysis. Center for medial epicondyle forms another epiphysis and fuses with after the 20th year. So just you remember that there are 4 centers and 2 epiphyses formed. One formed for medial phalanges and lateral phalanges. Three they are being formed and they get fused together, forming the 2 epiphyses. Okay. So carpal bones will give the flexibility only to the wrist joint, not the stability or 7 in numbers all. And first metacarpophalangeal, about first metacarpal. Okay, you should know about first metacarpal. It's the shortest and stoutest of all metacarpal bones. So first metacarpal is nothing but your thumb only. It is short and stout. And base is occupied by a concave or convex articular surface for trapezium, but here they again for scaphoid. So, so as I told you, from lateral to medial, for the base is occupied by trapezium, not scaphoid here. Okay, and it is rotated medially through 90 degrees relative to other metacarpals. As a result, movement of thumb occurs right angle to all those digits also. Okay, and it does not articulate with any other metacarpal bone. This is a special feature for this. Okay, next is about the olecranon process of ulna. This is the olecranon process of ulna that will give rise to the trochlear notch. It helps in the formation of trochlear notch. It's present in trochlea. So you can see that graded tubercle of humerus. So graded tubercle attachment you have supraspinatus, infraspinatus and teres minor. Whereas lesser tubercle you have subscapularis. So attachments they are given. You can see right here. So bicipital groove attachment, pectoral major, teres major, and latissimus dorsi. Okay. So laid between two majors you can remember. Graded tubercle, lesser tubercle you have. Okay. Ossification center for lunate. Okay, lunate appears at. So it's a fourth year. Okay, lunate at the fourth year. Like 4 centers they had in humerus, lunate is going to be appearing in the fourth year. Ossification center. For ribs, it is like 8 to 10 weeks. So 4 and then 8. Okay. Ossification of ribs begins in cartilage posteriorly about 8th week of fetal life and extends rapidly forwards. Okay, so the 8th week itself it starts. Okay. And not present in proximal row you can find this is tricutral only will be found. Trapezium is in the distal row actually. Okay, so that's it about this ossification of the upper lip. Thank you.